9:24 this morning, a Pittsburgh Steelers player has ignited a days-long debate over participation trophies.
James Harrison doesn't believe children should be rewarded just for their effort in a sport. In fact, he posted this picture to Instagram. The caption says, in part, quote, "I came home to find out that my boys received 2 trophies for nothing. Participation trophies. These trophies will be given back until they earn a real trophy. I'm not sorry for believing that everything in life should be earned, and I'm not about to raise 2 boys to be men by making them believe that they are entitled to something just because they tried their best. Because sometimes your best is not enough."
With that as a background, let's bring in a couple of experts. Fred Goodall, who writes the Mocha Dad blog, and John Pacini, founder of the Dad 2.0 Summit. I'm trying to speak too quickly this morning. Guys, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I know how I feel about this, and I'm not a fan of participation trophies, but your take, Fred, first.
Well, I've coached youth sports for many, many years. A lot of parents think this is pretty silly to give a participation trophy to every kid, but from a coach's perspective, when I watch these kids work hard and I see kids who have no skills to start with finally hit a basket or score a goal at the end of the season, they're so happy. And then I hand them that certificate or that trophy. It just means so much to them, and you can't buy that kind of joy for a child. Children need that. They need the opportunity to be children, and this just nurtures that and continues to allow them to have fun with the sport.
So do you think it is a positive thing? John, what's your take?
Well, yeah, I talked to dad bloggers and parents around the country, over the last couple of days about this, and it was almost universal consensus that up to a certain age, it's about fun, it's about socialization, it's about effort. And that was my experience. As a young dad, my son was in Pee Wee soccer, age 5 and 6, and the second year they gave this little trophy, and it was like a party favor, and they have it on the screen now. And to me, it was literally, it was in a box. At the pizza party at the end of the season, they said, grab one on the way out the door. And I said, no, this is not. And so in that sense, I agree with this is not right. This is not teaching them that it's a reward for some specific effort. So the next year I started coaching the teams for my son and then my daughter, and made it more about a specific accomplishment that they accomplished, each child. So we had a trophy presentation at the end and called out what they specifically did for it. And as my son got older and my daughter got older, my son got into taekwondo. And for older kids, that's very, it's important to be able to recognize that life is about being rewarded for specific achievements.
There is a time at some point, and this is certainly what I believe, that you can say there are winners and there are losers. And as this football player says, you don't win all the time.
And you have
it's important
to learn,
for kids to know that, isn't it?
You have to learn how to lose, because kids can go off crying and pouting if they're not used to being patted on the back for everything they do, right? And we don't want that.
Yeah, they need to know how to cope with losing. They need to know how to cope with winning as well, because some kids don't do that well either. So it's up to us as parents to show them those attributes and to really give them the affirmation they really need by saying, good job, or telling them you need to improve and giving them the tools they need to do that.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think we're looking at this in a smart way, though. I think we're analyzing it, and this conversation is helpful. You look back at it, there's a lot of people who are wringing their hands about this generation, this entitlement generation and participation trophies. But from our generation and older, and a lot of us and a lot of people in those generations have Letterman jackets in their closet that they got pretty much just for showing up and participating in a sport and being there and providing that effort and that participation. So I think that it's a good conversation, and we're moving in the right direction.
And I mean, studies show that kids, if they're going to be good at a sport, they've got to be passionate about it. They can't just be looking for the reward and for the win all the time, right? I mean, you have to enjoy the sport, whether it's win or lose. So at the end of the day, does that little, cheap plastic dollar trophy make a difference? Doesn't seem like it would.
Very well could make a difference, because a kid who may not have been enthusiastic about the sport before, once they got this positive recognition, they say, hey, maybe I can put in some extra effort. Maybe I'm okay.
Well, I really like John's idea, too, for any coaches out there, that you pick out something. This is why. It's not just because you played this season.
Billy, you did this well.
Exactly.
Timmy, you did this well.
Exactly. Exactly. Calling it out, recognizing
I think there's certainly a benefit to priming the pump when they're young, for learning something.
Right.
And then later on in life, You got to win it.
Well, I have about 20 of those little trophies on my shelf. So we are so proud. And my kids polish them and
Right.
love them and
Right.
squeeze them and hug them and call them George. So
Right.
it's all good.
So true, so true. Well, we're very proud of our kids when they,
Oh,
my
yeah.
son, they showed a picture of him with his Taekwondo, trophies and black belt. They're there on the screen a minute ago, and that's an important part because in real life we're not rewarded for effort. We're
Yeah.
rewarded for, our successes and our
Sure.
accomplishments.
Fair enough.
Well, we know he worked hard for that
Yeah.
one. That's a biggie.
We'll invite people to let us know what you think. Participation trophies, yay or nay. We are all on the social media. We look forward to hearing from you.
That's right. Good to see you guys.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
so much for
Thank
being
you.
here.